Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is crying and they don't know why. Not from pain, not from an onion, from nothing they can point to. Here's the strange part. No other animal on Earth does this. Elephants have been seen weeping over dead calves, dogs whimper, but no other species produces tears in response to emotion, only humans. Why would evolution build something so seemingly useless? A reflex with no obvious survival value, a leak with a psychological trigger. Let's start with the plumbing. Your eyes make three kinds of tears, and they are not the same liquid. Basal tears coat your eyes every second of every day. Reflex tears flush out onions, smoke, and dust. But emotional tears are chemically different from both. In the 1980s, biochemist William Frey collected tears from crying volunteers. He compared them to reflex tears from the same people, triggered by onion fumes. The emotional tears contained something the reflex tears didn't: higher levels of stress hormones, natural painkillers called leucine and kephalin, prolactin, the hormone linked to nurturing and attachment. Your body, it turns out, may be using tears to physically remove stress chemicals from your bloodstream. Crying isn't just an expression, it might be a release valve, but that raises a bigger question. Why does the body need a visible public release valve at all? Here's where it gets interesting. Humans are born already knowing how to cry, before we know how to smile, before we know how to speak. A newborn's cry is the loudest sound its tiny body will make on purpose. And researchers have found something eerie. Babies from wildly different cultures, from Japan to Cameroon to Norway, cry in strikingly similar pitch patterns. That's not an accident. Some evolutionary psychologists argue crying began as a survival broadcast, a signal too costly to fake because faking it draws predators and burns energy for nothing. If a baby cries and the cry brings help, the baby survives. Across 100,000 generations, that signal never went away. It just grew up with us. So crying may have started as biology, but somewhere along the way it became something else, a language. Think about the moments adults cry. Grief, obviously, but also weddings, reunions at airports, the end of a movie that has nothing to do with your actual life. Psychologists call this a dimorphous expression. Sometimes your emotional system gets so overloaded in either direction that it spills out as the exact same physical response. Have you ever noticed you cry harder right after the danger has passed, not during it? That's not a coincidence either. Crying is strongly tied to the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for calming you down after a threat. Which means crying doesn't just express distress, it may help end it. Studies have shown that after a good cry, heart rate slows, breathing deepens, and mood measurably improves within minutes. Your body isn't just leaking, it's resetting. But here's the part that should really unsettle you. Humans didn't just evolve to cry, we evolved to notice when other people are crying. Tears change how your face reads to others. A crying face pulls the eyes downward, almost softens the whole expression, and researchers have found it makes people appear more in need of comfort and less threatening, almost instantly. In other words, tears are a signal built for someone else's eyes. That means crying was never really a private act. Somewhere in our evolutionary past, it became a bond, a trust fall between one nervous system and another. Which brings us to the strangest fact of all. You are more likely to cry in front of people you trust than people you don't. Crying in front of a stranger feels dangerous. Crying in front of someone who loves you feels eventually like relief. So maybe that's the real answer to why humans cry. It was never really about sadness or even joy. It was always about connection, a signal we've been sending each other without words for at least 500,000 years. The next time you feel it building behind your eyes, you're not malfunctioning. You're doing the oldest, most human thing there is, asking, without a single word, to be understood.